All right. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to continue demonstrating our newly updated features, part of KITS version 2.3.27. So if you haven't already updated your KITS mobile yet, now would be a great time to go to the App Store, update your KITS, and continue watching the program. So Julia, what are we covering today?
All right, so our agenda for today, we'll be covering the bulk configure pricing in list view.
Now, for those of you familiar with how to do configure pricing in KITS, you may be familiar with some of the values we have there, like our price zones. For those of you not familiar with price zones differ between manufacturers. Some use it to provide U.S. or Canadian list pricing, or some use it to cover pricing updates between updated catalogs between periods.
We're also going to be covering the project settings control switch for the KOE catalog suppression in your list view. And lastly, we're also going to be covering something new on the quick sheet, a control switch for hiding assigned discounting information. So as usual, we'll start with a fun opportunity for today's webinar. So today's opportunity is our healthcare client has asked us to advise them on redesigning their reception and admin station. So we need to accommodate, of course, for a flow of patient traffic signing in or registering, as well as daily responsibilities of the staff. So pricing will be accommodated based on the agreed upon terms, with 35% off for all new seating and 45% off for all new case goods. However, any items originally listed as part of the original FF&E is subject to pricing when the project closed. So now it's time to hand this off to our designer, Franklin.
All right, thanks a lot, Julia. So before I start, what I'm going to do is we're going to go into our KITS mobile app, and we're going to go ahead and start a project. Okay, so based on the client's requirements, I have a great idea that'll definitely fit their requirement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first go ahead and tap on the Add Item button. And now I'm going to look for my KITS planning typical, and that will be right over here. So we're going to go ahead and open the KITS sample collection, and then I'm going to tap on Buy Typicals. And I'm just going to quickly tap out of the submenu. I'm going to find the typical I want. Perfect. Now I'm going to drag this into my scene and quickly validate that this is what I want. It looks absolutely perfect for what the client needs. Definitely a large enough reception area that is also good enough for admin work as well. Okay, so now that I have my typical, what I'm going to do to continue with this is I'm going to go ahead and add some chairs. So let's go back into my catalog here, and then we're just going to go backwards. This time I'm going to go ahead and tap on Buy Products. And then we're going to tap on Seating. And I know which chair I want, so again, I'm going to tap into my thumbnails. And I'm just going to quickly drag that into the scene. Okay. Now, based on the project scope here, I do know that all new seating has agreed upon terms for 35% off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and double tap on that chair. And just as you're used to providing the augmented prices using our configure price at the item level, we're going to go ahead and tap on configure price. And then we're going to add our upcharge, which is 10%. And also that list less 35, which we're going to discount. So there I have my values. I have my catalog list price, as well as I have my adjusted list price based on the 10% upcharge, and then the total sell price based on the discount that we've assigned. So let's go ahead and apply that. And now we can continue on with specifying the chair. Now you guys are the designers today using your project, so go ahead and specify anything that you like. I'm going to go ahead and quickly do this here. Okay, and done. Great. So I have my admin chair there, or my reception chair there. I also need a few chairs for that meeting table in the middle. So let's go back into my catalog. I'm going to bring in this 95-6R chair here on the side. I'm going to double tap that. And again, we can drag it into the scene, or we can configure the prices or spec. This time I'm just going to double tap into the chair. And because this chair is part of the original FF&E, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we specify the correct price zone, which is price zone 3. Okay, and price zone 3 indicates the pricing which was current during the project close. So we're going to go ahead and tap apply. We're going to go ahead and continue with specifying the seat. Okay, now I'm going to tap on done. And it looks about that I do have everything that I need here. So I'm going to go into plan view. And I'm going to quickly duplicate these chairs where I need them. Okay, and you can see here, I always go through a series of doing different camera views and different gesturing. These are all things that you should master so you can continue on doing the more advanced features that KITS provides. Okay, so let's go ahead and add 2 more chairs for this meeting table. Okay, great. Now I'm just going to quickly go to my 3D view. Let me just adjust this there. And again, I'm going to quickly validate the project. Definitely looks like what I think my client will need. Now, before I actually continue on with this, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my 5 favorite KOE catalog items. Now, what I normally like to add for any of my scenes, really to enhance my sales message, is basically a computer or laptop, and this is also based on what the layout is. Obviously, if it's a reception area with just lounge seating or guest chair seating, or if it's a meeting conference area, you may want to pick items that fit that specific area. Here, because it's an admin station, I'm going to go ahead and add a computer, a telephone, some type of decorative item or accessory, another decorative item or plant, and a person. Okay, and the reason why I do all this is not just only does it humanize the scene or provide really a nice enhanced image of how the area is going to be used, it really provides the client a nice scaled image of what the space is really going to look like. All right, great. So we're nearly done here. What we can do now is we can continue on with going into our list view to adjust our pricing. All right, so here we are in our list view, and you can see that I have all my items listed, as well as the KOE items that are also listed. Now, one thing that I want to do here is I want to make sure that I don't have these KOE elements in here in my quick sheet. I do want to suppress them from my view. So let's quickly go into the project settings. And just under list view settings, you can see here we have a new controller switch for hiding items from the KITS Office Environment catalog. So I'm going to go ahead, turn that switch on, and now I'm going to go back. And there you go. So you can now see what it's done is it suppressed all those elements from appearing here in my list view. All right, so now let's continue on with adjusting pricing first. All right, so most of you are used to adjusting pricing by tapping on any of the price lists for the model that you want to augment or adjust. So for instance, if I tap on the first model here, you can see that I tap into pricing, and it gets me into the configure price menu. Now, I don't want to price out each individual item, because what I want to take advantage of is the new 2.3.27 feature, which is bulk pricing. So you can see here that we now have configure prices located top right of our list view. If I tap on that, you can see that it prompts for me to select one or more items using the checkboxes to the left of each item. So we're going to go ahead and tap OK. And what we're going to first do is I want to assign bulk pricing to catalog specifically. We do know that our case goods will get a specific discount, as well as our seating. So I'm going to go ahead and tap on all catalogs in the middle here, which now brings up a menu or a list view of all the catalogs that are assigned in the project. So first things first is I'm going to go ahead and start with the KL2 case goods. I'm going to tap on that. And then what I'm going to do is I can go ahead and tap on each individual item, or I can go ahead and tap on the radio button found left of the model category. So let's go ahead and tap on that. And you can now see that it has selected all the items that are listed under the KL2 case goods catalog. All right, so now that I have all my items selected, I'm going to go ahead and tap on Configure Prices now. And so now we're prompted with the Configure Price menu again, but this time it looks a little bit different. We have our price zone, we have our pricing method, we still have our discount method, but what you don't see here are the values that are normally assigned for each individual item. And that's because we have various items, all with various pricing, that are found under the same catalog. Okay, so don't worry about that. What we can do is we can make sure that they're all assigned consistently the same pricing method as well as discount method. So first we're going to start with pricing method. Let's tap on this plus and tap on upcharge. We're going to add 10%. There we go. Now we're going to add the discount method, which is going to be list less, and that is 45. Now that I'm satisfied with my upcharge and my discount method, I'm going to go ahead and tap on apply. And you can now see that it's applied to all the items that were selected for the configure prices. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on with the next catalog, which is going to be tables. So I'm going to go ahead and select those items, and then I'm going to go into configure prices, and then I'm going to follow by doing 10% as an upcharge and 45 as my discount. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply, and again, that 45% discount is applied to 2 items. Now we're going to go into our seating, so let's quickly tap on KLT tables here, and now we're going to tap on seating. Same thing, we're going to select all our items, and then we're going to go into configure prices. All right, so we do see something a little bit different here for our configure prices. You do notice that beside price zone, pricing method, and discount method, we do now have an assigned value of various. And this is a great way for you to validate your project based on the values that are assigned to the items in your project. So for instance, the reason why we have various for price zone is because we have more than one item that has differing values. So for instance, we do know that, I'm just going to close this quickly, we do know that we assigned a price zone for the first model chair here, and we didn't assign that price zone for the second chair. And so that's what prompts, when we go into our configure prices, various value. Now we also have that various value for pricing method and discount method, and that's also because there are items in here under the catalog, which are, well, with all the items that are listed for our monthly pricing configure price, that we have various values for those as well. Okay, so we do know we're okay with the price zone being various. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that all the other methods are consistent. So let's go ahead and make sure that our pricing method is at 10%, and our discount method is at 35. We're going to hit apply. So you can now see that the discount has been added to the items. And if I were to tap on the very first chair model here, you can also see that the price zone 3 has remained. Okay, so I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to go ahead and tap on apply. And I'm just going to bring this back to my catalog view. And now you can see here, all my items have now the adjusted pricing based on the project scope. Okay, so let's continue on into the 3D view. What we're going to do now is we're going to quickly set this in the position we want to render, and we're going to go ahead and do that first rendering. Now, a good tip here is, choose the rendering that makes sense for your client. If your client wants an overall view, of the actual station or the layout that you've created, go ahead and make sure that you capture that as an image. Make sure I save that to my photo library. Or if your client wants a plan view, make sure that you do a nice plan view. What I like to do is I like to add all these photos for any project that I submit, just so that we're clear of any questions that may be asked, as well as it's great to communicate as much as you can based on the images without really identifying too many details for the project. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and do line drawing and create a quick plan view of the layout here. And I'm okay with the people over the person and the computer and the KOE items being in this because I'm just giving an overall glimpse of what that plan view looks like. Next, what I'm going to do is, based on what the client is looking for, they may want to know what this space looks like based on their, guest view, or they may want to take a look at what the space looks like based on the functionality of how the person assigned to that area is going to be able to work with. So here, if this is more important for the client to know how the space is going to be used, what we can do is we can make sure that we take a nice rendering to really illustrate how the admin desk is going to be used from the person behind the desk. So let's go ahead and create a quick rendering of that. And so we have all these wonderful renderings to choose from. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead, and when this is done, we're going to create a quick sheet. Okay, so I'm going to save that to my photo library. And now I'm going to go tap on the share icon, and I'm going to go into my quick sheet. All right, great. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to assign this project name. Now again, this only changes the name on the quick sheet, not the actual project assign name. So we're going to go ahead and just call this reception admin station. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue on with selecting a nice visual here. I have those 3 renderings that I created. We're going to go ahead and use this rendering. And then we're going to continue on with the pricing. Now again, you do have the ability to change your discount method during the quick sheet, but do remember, if you actually use the discount method in quick sheet, it will affect all the other all the pricing that you currently have that has already been discounted. So best thing to do is, if you want just bulk discount pricing, you can wait and do that during the quick sheet level. Or if you want to refine your discounting, what you can do is you can quickly do that during the item level discounting, during the configure price in the list view or in the item level. Okay, I can easily add a custom cell line item, but I'm not going to do that. I can add a note if I want by turning on that switch, adding a note here, and I'm just going to call it, here is your new reception admin station. And I can continue on with my details as you see here. Now we do have something new for details. So Julia, what new feature do we have here?
All right, so we've added the ability to further protect your bid by adding a control switch for turning your discounting pricing off from your view. So using this feature really allows you to provide your client with item and pricing project pricing with suppressing all discount values from your view and still retaining the net values of that project.
So in a nutshell, what Julia was explaining is we now added the ability to turning off the discounting from your actual quick sheet here. So again, what I can do is I control how my bid goes out. I can easily turn off all details, which now just gives me the configured price of the project, which includes all the net value from the discounting that we've provided. Or if these are all turned on, what I can do is I can simply turn off my discounting, so they don't see, how the prices were adjusted. They just see the value of each item, as well as the description of each item and the thumbnail. Okay, and I'm pretty satisfied with this. And once I'm satisfied with this quick sheet, I can easily send that to my client by tapping on send. Here's your generic email. There's the added PDF to your email, and you can quickly shoot this off. Okay. And that's pretty much it, everyone. You now know how to use our new Kits mobile features. Now, we'll be running our webinar throughout April, so look out for the next invite. And keep practicing, and in no time, you too will become a power user and quite possibly our next collaborator of the week.